Hey, this is Banya Paj with Devlog 2. Today it's all about art in game development, which is also known as I can't draw, and how do I make a game that isn't ugly. So have you been avoiding art? Have you locked away your artistic responsibilities in the basement and threw away the key? Cause I know I have, and 2025 is the year I turn it all around. My first boss model looked really good, but with so many broken limbs, it looked more like a horror game. And that is not the visual I want for Lumberia. I'm making a cozy multiplayer game with cool characters, epic bosses, slimes, and fluffy grass. Maybe you're like me, no art skills, no money, and you still want to make something awesome. So I had to learn how to get from pink donuts to sculpting characters. Today I'll show you how I went from not knowing how to sculpt at all to having my first boss done in just 1 month. This is my secret sauce, my cheat code, my AAA way to get good at art. We all start somewhere, and my journey began with paint. Hey, no art skill does not mean no imagination, so I still use paint to understand what I want my characters to look like before I even open Blender. This is my first version of Moon. She was always going to be my first boss. A floating celestial figure with 2 large golden horns curving around the moon like a crown. I shared my idea with an artist and they came back with a better picture. This helped me to see Moon from a different perspective, which made me realize I wasn't really quite ready to make her yet. So I thought I'd start with someone more approachable. Jackson, the main character of the game, was my first attempt at sculpting in Blender. Sculpting was much harder than I expected. Sculpting used completely different shortcuts and workflows compared to modeling, and I was doing it all with the mouse, which probably didn't help. I learned how to turn a cube into a face, how to shape arms from basic cylinders, and how to simplify things like hair into clean curves. After 2 weeks, I had managed to turn a block into a game-ready character with a working rig and bones. And even better, he worked with the free Mixamo animations. When I was done, I was really proud, and seeing Jackson in 3D made me more confident for making Moon. I grabbed my mouse and started working with at least 5 different tutorials on sculpting female characters. But in the end, her head looked a bit alien, the legs were too long and the back felt too stiff and a bit uncanny, but she was mine. At the time, this was the best thing I had ever made in 3D, and she already looked so much closer to the version I had imagined in my original sketches. I gave her clothes and accessories, but rigging them turned into a nightmare. Every piece of clothing needs to be weight painted by hand, and Mixamo absolutely refused to work with the model. That's when I stopped and thought, she looks good, but I don't need to fully rig her right now. I know I'm going to remake her in the future, and it's okay to leave it. I posed the model and hand animated her, like frame by frame, without bones. It was messy, but it worked. I got the practice, I had a finished character, and I was sure the next version would be even better. As a solo game dev, you end up wearing a lot of hats. So after finishing Moon 1, I took a break from modeling to dive into learning C++ multiplayer in Unreal Engine 5. But that's a whole nother devlog. It was months later when I finally got access to Danny Mac's 3D tutorials as a gift, and it turned out to be exactly what I needed to level up Moon. Danny's content is structured around building stylized female characters from scratch, body part by body part. For the first time, I had a real structure with a full start to finish process with examples and models I could compare my work against. I gave myself 1 month to go through everything he offered, and I just barely made it in time. I started by building the mannequin, which is like the human base that you can shape into any character you want. This helped me simplify character creation, and I started to understand why my Moon 1 was not quite perfect. Instead of a straight back, rigid model, I began to see curves, posture, anatomy, and how small, even subtle shifts can make a character feel so much more alive. Modeling the base came together quickly. but learning the theory behind it made the most impact. Then he covered everything from muscle groups to fat pads to the beauty behind stylized characters. What seemed super difficult to me is how to make something feel pretty and unique without making the model way too complicated. I went through every tutorial on the website, applied techniques to Moon 2, and the difference is day and night. Both versions of Moon do look nice in their own special way, but side by side the improvement is enormous. The anatomy is cleaner, the proportions actually feel like a human, and the overall silhouette looks distinct. It finally felt like I had enough skill to bring my imagination to life. Once the base was done, I moved on to painting her face and dressing her up. For the horns, I followed a great tutorial which also helped me animate them. And finally, Moon felt complete. This month of focused learning didn't give me just one better model, it gave me the skills and understanding to make any character I want. Overall, it took me 2 months of focused time to get from a doodle to a cube to finally Moon 2.0. I mean, I believed I could make something before, but now I know for a fact how far learning can take me. I'm sure I'll make Moon 3 in the future, but I'm genuinely excited to try again. I love Blender. It's a great tool that fuels your creativity, and with the amount of free and paid online resources, I'm sure that everyone can make their projects into reality. Thanks for watching! I hope you find my journey inspiring, and if you're working on something of your own or learning something completely new, I hope this devlog shows that progress is not only possible but guaranteed, if you just have a little bit of time. Comment below if you're also working on something or you have any creative goals this year, and I'll see you next time. Bye!